A lot of times we speak about self-work, self-development, the spiritual journey, healing, shadow work, therapy, a lot of stuff. But if someone ever asked me about what is the one thing that a person will need, and it's not ayahuasca, what is the one thing that a person will need to turn their life around? What is the biggest lesson, the biggest teaching that you have had from the shamans, from the gurus, the yogi, from different teachers, from life itself, that you will share with somebody? It will be personal responsibility. It is impossible to change your life as long as you're committed to being a victim of your circumstances, a victim of your past, of your relationships, of your upbringing, your parents. And I'm not saying that you need to pretend that the abuse you endured as a child, the abuse you may have endured, and the betrayal that may have happened in your romantic relationships didn't happen. This is not about bypassing or about pretending that life is not what it was. But this is about understanding that whatever happened, happened. And it is our choice how we respond to it, what we choose to do moving forward. Yes, this happened, and here we are. There was pain, there was a lot of chaos, and here we are. Where do we go from here? And the thing is that there's nowhere we can go if we're victims of somebody else, because that means that our power remains scattered. If you felt and you knew that you are the creator of your experience, of all of the life that bursts through you, that you're not merely a spectator or a secondary character on a book, but you're also the writer, you will see your life in a different way. You will see your problems in a different light. You will understand that behind every challenging situation, there's been a choice. There's been a choice that comes afterwards. Wisdom or wounding are usually the two main choices that we have access to. And personal responsibility means that I commit myself to being 100% responsible for everything that goes on in my life. Oh, Nico, but the government and my wife and my dad, my mom, I understand. But look at your life and how much that has served you so far, to keep pointing fingers. I'm not saying they didn't play a role in what happened. Probably they did. I don't know the extent to which they may have inflicted pain on you. But you can leave that pain where it belongs, in the past. Because they inflicted pain on you in one moment, and then you carried that pain with you for years and years and years. So who's the real abuser? Them that did something once, twice, maybe a handful of times? Or you that carries that pain for years, day in and day out? Ultimately, we need to have enough self-love to be responsible for every part of our life, to understand that we can do it, we're in charge of it, that life can be better, that life should be better, because why not? And then from this place, to do whatever we can to improve things. Maybe it's just a little bit, but if I ask myself the question of how was I responsible for what happened, and how can I respond to what happened, how would I like to respond, then I'm orienting my mind, my energy, my body, my whole karma structure as well, into a direction of resolution, of creation, and of growth. But as long as my energy remains stuck in past, in relationships, in certain areas, because I feel that somebody else owes me, or that somebody else controls the life that I live because of what they did to me, I remain powerless or very disempowered. So if there's one thing that you are willing and courageous enough to embrace, to live differently, is personal responsibility. Your life is your responsibility. How you feel about what happens is your responsibility. You may not control everything that goes around you, physically, externally, but you can control how you respond to it. Your heart, your mind are your temples. How do you treat them? Do they experience ease, bliss, peace? Or is it chaos, anxiety, depression? Nobody can force you to feel a certain way. They can create conditions that are very supportive of feeling great or of feeling terrible. But the conditions do not determine, do not define, and should not define the way that you feel inside. Because the day that you learn to walk joyful, blissful, as a choice, not as a result of your external circumstances, is the day that you're fully free. And freedom is a lot more valuable than a happiness that is derived from others doing and being who I expect them to be and do. Freedom is a lot more valuable than comfort or than a happiness that can be taken away from us the moment that somebody tells us something we don't like. The moment we remember that thing my dad did when I was little, that thing my uncle did, that thing the government is doing. That's not peace. There's no peace there. At the moment that we become responsible is the moment that things change, that I can choose to feel happy no matter what is happening. I can still act in a way that is relevant and necessary, draw boundaries, maybe I need some distance. Doesn't mean that you have to become permissive or a doormat, not at all. It's not about good vibes only, it's about being conscious. Action depends on what the moment demands, but how you feel, it's a choice. And I wish for you to exercise this choice as often as possible, as conscious as possible, and as fully as possible. This is the essence of personal responsibility. Thank you.